I'm gay.
Oh my god, I can't believe I'm in love with you. Okay.
What's up, everybody?
Yay, another episode of Skate Day.
Skate Day.
Woo.
We're back again.
Heck yeah.
If you wanted it or not, here we are. Get ready for it. It's another episode.
We know you never asked for this, yet here we are.
Yep, I'm Rebel.
And I'm Chev.
And we are just two roller skaters who fell in love, and we like to talk about the real world.
And the wheel world.
That's us. So here we go. What are we talking about today, babe?
I don't remember. Just kidding. I literally had a random brain fart right now. I was like, oh no, it's my turn to talk. You would think this was our first episode.
It's not, it's our third.
It's our third. Anyways, today we are talking about the new Netflix special? I want to say it's a Netflix special.
Just like a movie.
Yeah, it's a documentary. It's a documentary / drama
called The Social Dilemma.
Yeah, so we're gonna talk about
that. / drama. I don't know that you would call it a drama. I mean, maybe the critics called it a drama, but I would definitely not call that a drama. Yeah, so we're gonna talk about social dilemma. So we're gonna talk about social media. We're gonna talk about influencers today. Do you know anything about that?
No.
Influence, huh?
Influenza? What?
Yeah, influence, huh? And now it's time for our fake ads. Remember, businesses, companies, anyone with anything to sell, an Etsy shop, this could be you that we're talking about right now. Hey babe, I just bought this tea. It's supposed to give you a flat tummy, and I saw the before and after pictures. They look super legit. I'm even drinking it right now.
Babe, that's totally fake. All those pictures are photoshopped, but I did just get some magic beans that are going to make my hair grow longer.
Okay, the girl in that ad is clearly wearing a wig.
Dang, well thanks. What would we do if we didn't have each other?
Well, I guess we would have to get the True Colors app.
That's right. It's an app that strips away the filters from the posts you see in your feed.
So you can see everyone's true colors.
Say goodbye, Facetune.
Adios, sepia.
Hasta la vista, XX Pro.
Stop seeing life through a filter and get the True Colors app today. The True Colors app. Totally real. Not made up at all. Thanks for watching that fake ad. Was that tea? The tea that I just bought that you just drank? Or was that a different tea?
No, babe. But I definitely realized that I am a horrible actor.
You know what? We all have our talents. I would say don't quit your day job, but...
I already did.
All right. So now let's move into the real world.
Let's do it.
Wow. Now, let's move right into the real world. Now, we're talking about a documentary in the real world, right?
Yeah, we're talking about the documentary, The Social Dilemma, and it's on Netflix. Yes. So, this is the little description that they give you on The Social Dilemma. It says, this documentary drama hybrid explores the dangerous human impact of social networking, with tech experts sounding the alarm on their own creations. Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
So, babe, I remember seeing, our tattoo artist, Tats and Ash. She had posted in her story, must watch.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I, screenshot it, and I was like, gotta watch this later. And I remember when I told you about it, you were like, I don't know, I saw the previews and I got scared.
Yeah, because every time I see something that talks about social media, I'm very acutely aware of how addicted we all are to social media. And I'm aware of how addicted I am to social media. Mm-hmm. And so anytime I see something like that, I'm like, oh no, this is going to make me feel very sad and bad about myself.
The guilt.
Yeah, the guilt is just going to hit so hard. And I don't know that it's fixable, and so I sometimes get worried about videos like that.
See, I got excited at first. I thought documentary and like people exposing it and like cool, like see the behind the curtain, like the creators, this whole tech side. Definitely like the whole drama side to it. I didn't really get, but I mean,
okay. Okay. Here's what you need to know about this film. This film would have been really great without the drama hybrid part of it. The documentary was great. Like, they had the president of Pinterest, like former CEO and COOs of different organizations like Facebook.
The creator of the like button.
Snapchat. Yeah, the person who created the like button. Like, they had so many big names. People who were in advertising for social media and working on growth within social medias, and all of those interviews were so good. Mm-hmm. Like, they were so on point, and I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah, babe. So like, we're watching it and everything seemed cool, and then as soon as I like saw that one kid actor, I was like, what's happening? Because I knew
the main actor in the film.
So I was like, he's like a legit actor. So like, I thought I was watching a documentary, and as soon as I saw that, I was like, something's up. All of a sudden, because like I wasn't fully paying attention, and I was like, I thought we were watching a documentary, and then
you mean the side, not the main guy?
No, yeah.
Oh, I just thought, oh no, this looks like the acting that goes into the training videos for any new job. And that's concerning because I thought that the whole film had so much credibility, and then the acting and the drama.
Credibility. It felt like the credibility started to drop because they had this cheesy side drama to like dumb down what they were talking about. Yeah, it felt like
they were diluting the message.
Yeah.
Like they were... what I've discovered, my consensus in the matter, and you could potentially disagree with me, is that the film was not made for us. Like, the film was made for people who don't know anything about social media. Like, I walked into our living room, and I knew going into it that they were about to tell me that I was addicted to social media, that they're making money off of me, and that I am complicit in all of this. And that's exactly what they told me. But then they said it with this, like, additional drama thing in such a way that made me feel like I was a kindergartner.
Okay, look, neither of us are surprised by anything they had to say. It was all things that are, like, obvious. Like,
yes,
it
was obvious.
These are things I know already, unless you're in complete denial of your addiction.
The reason why it was cool and why it was interesting is because we know all this stuff, but we didn't know that they knew about it.
That's true.
That's why it was interesting to hear it from... Oh, sorry.
I think it was interesting that a lot of them were like, we quit for moral reasons. Morality.
That was super interesting.
So it was all like, that's when you're like, oh crap.
And these people are obviously making so much money.
So much money. And they're like, I need to walk away because I just don't think this is morally right, and where like the human race is going to go with this.
To hear all of them be like, I'm concerned about the ethics of this thing that I created and made me millions/billions of dollars.
Or like when everyone was like, so what was the problem? And no one could answer.
No one could specifically say what the problem was.
Like, because where do I start? Because there's so many problems.
There's so many problems. And also, they created the base level of the issue is that they created something that was making money banked off of like humanity. And I don't know though, because even when I say that gets into the root of what I'm gonna 100% disagree with you about, which is, yes, they are making money based off of an addiction, which I think that's where the line is for me.
Well, yeah. Okay, wait. We're jumping ahead. We wanted to say that the biggest takeaway from this, if you haven't seen it yet or you're going to see it, is that if you're receiving a product for free, like Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, all these things, whatever it is.
Any social media.
And it's for free. Like, you're not paying for the product. You are the product.
Like, you're the thing being sold.
So, and you might be like, some people probably still, like, just because we know, that doesn't mean everyone knows. So you might be like, sure. I don't get it. Like, how am I the product? And it's because how many ads are you seeing? How they're marketing to you? Yeah, they're making money off of you.
The way it works is if you're not putting money into it, they are using all the information that you willingly put up on the internet and into their app, and they're selling that to advertisers.
Yes.
And so that's how they're making money. It comes down to the fact that an app or a program has to make money somehow. And if they're not making money by taking money from you, they're going to make money from someone else. And because of that, that means that us using these social media apps, we are not the primary consumers. We're not the people that are the customers. We might be the consumers, but we're not the customers.
Yeah.
These advertising agencies and the big businesses, those are the customers. And so that's who they want to please more than us.
Definitely.
That's who they're taking care of or protecting, I guess.
So that's the cycle of profit.
Anyways, that hyped me up, yeah.
And it's like crazy because you think about in the beginning, like there weren't all these ads, like, but then it gets bigger and the more people, it's like,
yeah. Well, I mean, anytime you see any sort of, take this podcast for
instance.
Yeah.
No ads now.
There are no ads now, but at some point in the future, in order to make this a sustainable thing that we're doing, we have to have ads. Because we're not selling the podcast, you know, like you're listening to this for free. And so in order for us to make money, we have to put ads. And that's how it happens with any new business.
There's an earthquake.
Oh my God,
that is an earthquake. Oh my God.
Oh, it's a big earthquake.
Is there anything big about this? OMG. Alright. Write it out. You know you're born and raised in California when you don't freak out completely. I know they teach us we're supposed to go under the table.
Yeah, we're definitely not supposed to be right here. That was a big one, babe.
Alright.
We're good.
We're good. Yeah, so I think like a big thing about, you want to get ads so you can have commercials on whatever platform it is. Like even us with this podcast eventually want ads. But I think when it comes to the morality side of it, it's like, I don't want to just take anyone that says, hey, do an ad for me. Like if I don't believe in your product, if I know it's a faulty product, it's something I would never use for myself or like I'm against, I don't want to advertise it. And I feel like, I don't know, are we going to clash on that one day? Like,
No, we're not going to clash on that one day because that's exactly what like having ethics and like having a platform and trying to make money off your audience is about.
Yeah, but I feel like some people just like will advertise anything. So I know a lot of people are influencers on social media. Some people might even say that we're influencers.
What is it? Let's just like go back real quick. What's an influencer?
An influencer, okay, what an influencer is why I don't like being called an influencer. An influencer is a person that holds influence over the masses. So let's say, like for me, I don't see myself as an influencer because in my eyes, I think influencers have hundreds of thousands. But that's not true. I gotta think.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know that like over the masses is an accurate term. I mean, it's
an
hard.
Audience, not the masses.
I mean, I don't know. So like, okay, so interesting. My friend who is older than me asked me the other day, like, I don't get it. Influencer isn't a job. Like, why are all of you young people like obsessed with influencers or whatever? And I had to explain to him that influencers are essentially just the new way of advertising. Like the way that influencers can make money is because now instead of there being television ads, most of the media that's being consumed isn't like TV, it's YouTube, it's social media. And so the way that organizations and companies are getting their ads out to people is through influencers. And so an influencer is just a popular person on social media. That's all an influencer is.
Yeah, and I feel like if I tried not to think like influencer as something negative, because I just feel like I've heard people use it in such a negative way that it makes me feel
It's because in the beginning, influencers, like, in the beginning, or maybe even a lot of influencers now, I just don't follow a lot of influencers like this, but, like, in the beginning, influencers were just, like, reconfirming society's, like, beauty norms. Like, they were always like, lose weight. They were always like, look perfect. And they were like, look at my perfect life.
Their Instagram was super curated, and it was like happy, colorful, perfect filter, perfect lighting, perfect family, perfect house.
It's just not realistic.
Like, everything was
I
great.
hate that. And I feel like the beginning influencer was that.
Yeah, that's true. And I feel like we got where we are for being just true to who we are and being ourselves. Mm-hmm. And, like, we don't just show, like, every pretty thing. Like, yeah, that's there too. And I feel like we have been raised to the standard of influencer in a way. Like, I don't know, it's like how... It feels weird. Like, I don't want to be like, the people made us, but, like, the people made us.
Yeah, like, we're nothing. We're just people.
We're nothing without y'all. But, like, seriously, that's true. Because it's like, I don't know what I did to get where I am now. I don't know why anyone cares what I have to say or, like, follows me. Like, I know, like, some people will say, like, I know, like, people will tell me, like, it's because of, like, I make them feel better for body positivity and self-love, and that I show the struggle, and, like, I talk about my anxieties and things like that. And I think as long as I stay on that path and don't start doing it all for, like, the perfect video or for the likes and for the comments, like, I think that's really important.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the root of what I would say both of us, our goals is to help people.
Yeah.
And I think that's very different than the, like, perceived version of an influencer, right? Like, often the perceived version of an influencer is like, I just want to be able to go travel and, like, live my perfect life and, like, do whatever and, like, wear a lot of clothes and talk about them. Mm-hmm. When in reality, like, for each person, it's different. Like, it's not like that for everybody.
Yeah, like, I know when I finally, like, people reached out to me and were like, we want to pay you to do kind of like what's an ad, like do a post in your story and on your timeline. Like, I remember thinking, like, what? They want me? Like, blah, blah, blah. And they were like, we'll pay you for it. And it was, like, not, like, they were paying me good money from what, like, because I had to question myself and be like, okay, I have a large following. If someone comes for me, like, because at first it's like people want to give you stuff for free and then you talk about it, and I think, like, that's cool too, because, like, who doesn't love free stuff?
And I think it benefits both parties. So I think that's where it is like, with an influencer, you want to make sure that, like, someone, the company is getting something, or the creator of the artisanal good is getting something, as well as the creator of the ad per se. So like, you get the free stuff and then they get exposure. And if they're coming to you and saying, I want exposure and that's why I'm giving you this free stuff, then it's
which
like
is
a
cool, but
cool thing.
Like, I had a random company I'd never heard of ask me, like, oh, can we send you a shirt and then you can do a post? And I was like, okay, like, cool. And then, like, something just told me, like, shoot your shot, because, like, I had already quit my daytime job, and I was like, I'm gonna be a full-time content creator. I like calling myself a content creator rather than influencer, to be honest.
I like to call myself a video creator.
And, so I shot my shot, and I was like, hey, like, if you pay me $100, like, I'll do a swipe up just to see, because, like, I don't know, like, I'm starting to, like, realize that there's value to what I have and that I can use this platform as a business as well as for, like, a sense of community. And they agreed to it, and I was like, whoa, what the heck? And then, like, I brought them customers, and that helped them, and then they helped me because they put my picture on their Instagram, so that was, like, more stuff for me. And I feel like that's the business side of the social media.
I think there's a huge business side to being social media.
But trust, when they first even wanted to send me the shirt, I was on their whole website. Like, is this stuff I actually want to wear? Do their shirts say things I believe in?
Yeah, and that's why big influencers have, like, social media managers and stuff
Yeah.
who like scout out different companies and say, oh yeah, this aligns with our brand or this doesn't align with our brand or our audience would be interested in that. Because what I see as like the big benefit is like, I'm only going to partner up with brands or with people who I really believe in. So like I have 2 codes right now. One of them is for a vibrator / like an adult toy company. And another one is for a creator who does a lot of like art and crafts and patches and stuff like that in Arizona. And I absolutely 100% believe in both of them. And I think I would buy those things if I wasn't getting a discount. And I feel like it's a bonus to my audience for them to get a discount to these places.
Yeah, that's how I feel about I'm only an affiliate for Moxie, and for me, it's like, I stood by Moxie and went by That Girl Has Moxie before I even knew anyone that worked there. Like, I just, like, was obsessed with the brand because it was a great product. And I think it's great that it's, like, the customer gets a discount, too.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to stand by the products that we sell. But I remember, like, yeah, it's really different, like, knowing before we reached this, like, content creator / influencer.
I don't even know when we hit that level either.
Who knows?
So random.
It's so random, and I don't know. I feel like in the skate community, like, since roller skating's trending, like, a lot of skaters have, like, a large following.
Yeah, so
now.
It doesn't feel like anything.
So it doesn't feel that
It just feels like whatever.
But then sometimes, like, I feel like I gotta check myself and be like, this is not normal to have this many followers.
True. Yeah, like one of my students found out that I had a Instagram and had whatever. And in their review to me, like, I have them write a review at the end of the semester. And they were like, oh, Miss Mang, like, miss 30,000 subscribers, and I was like, what? Like, so random. And so it is a big deal to people.
Yeah.
It is a big deal.
It is, but I feel like me personally, like, I go back and forth on my comfort level of posting anything that, like, I was paid to do. I'm gonna be honest, like, I feel like I know, like, I have to go the whole route of being like, okay, Chev, like, you do the work and you deserve this and it's okay, because I don't want my followers to feel like I'm selling, like, I don't want to be like them to be like, oh, Chev's selling things to us again. And I don't know, like, it just kind of bothers me, like, sometimes, and I know people probably don't even care. It's like my own battles that I need to, like, come to terms with, because the society we live in, this is normal, like, this, someone's gonna do it, and why can't it be me? And I think I'm still, like, with that imposter syndrome, where I think that, like, who am I to be, like, hired by people to even sell these products? And it's not even happening that often, like, sometimes, and then on the other hand, I wish it happened more often.
Yeah.
But I wish it was, like, products I stood by, because I don't know.
Oh my God, I get so many offers from, like, just random companies that I just do not, like, I get so many, I probably get 2 or 3 offers per day for my YouTube for just, like, random companies, like gaming companies or, like, tech stuff, and I'm like, that does not align with my brand at all. And they're like, we'll give you, like, $1,000. I'm like, no, like, that's just not, like, you want to sell, like, broadband with internet connection to my, what? Like, I'm just so confused.
Yeah, because it's like, first of all, I don't even know if you're a trustworthy company, and then, like,
I've never heard of you, like, I don't know.
But yeah, so, I don't know. That's definitely just, it's just a thing. Like, I don't know. Like, some people listening are probably like, I don't get it. Like, what?
It's weird. And I never would have understood all of this until I'm literally so deep in it. But yeah, so now that we've talked about, like, influencers, let's talk about social media addiction. Because that was another really big part of this social dilemma movie, was this idea that, like, oh, spoiler alert? I feel like we should have said that at the beginning episode, but oh well. I'll write it in the description. But the one of the biggest things about this movie is that they were saying, like, we literally find ways to intensify the social media addiction that we noticed was happening. So You know, it wasn't like, oh no, people are getting addicted, we feel bad about that. It was like, people are getting addicted. Nice. How do we make them more addicted?
Yep.
And that is, for me, where things get real questionable real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, I am totally addicted to social media.
I'm not.
Are you? That's a lie.
I'm not.
That is a lie.
I will scroll all day and night. When I wake up, that's the first thing I do. Before I go to bed, I have to check Instagram. Check Gmail. Like, I have 4 different Gmails, so I check all those, and I might go on TikTok. When I'm feeling sad, I go on TikTok because I need a laugh. It's a coping mechanism. Right before bed, I have to check everything before I go to bed. It's constant. I post something, I'm checking every 10 minutes to see how it's doing. It's definitely an obsession, and what makes it worse, and they talk about this in the documentary, is it causes these emotions to follow. So you start feeling like your self-worth, like if that post isn't doing well, it's because you didn't do a good job. And that's when it becomes problematic, and that's when they start talking about like suicide rates because of the addiction. Like,
yeah, they compared opening up your social media platform, whichever one your preference is, to pulling a slot in Vegas. And I thought that was a fascinating, just a fascinating comparison, because they said you're opening up your social media, and when you get likes and all of those things, you're getting a dopamine hit. Like, you're getting this like boost of positive hormones. And and so like, you're getting all of these things, and then, but you don't know if you're going to get that every time you open up your social media. Like, you don't know if you're going to have likes, or you don't know if you're going to have a message from someone who you want a message from, or what have you. And so that's why it's like slots, and that's why people keep coming back, and that's why they get you to check. That's why you check it so often. Because you're like, oh, maybe I need that hit right now. Oh, I don't know. I need to check. I want to check.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like I'm addicted to looking at, like, I even tell you all the time, like, did you see this person? Did you see that? And you're like, I don't know, I haven't been on Instagram. That's why I know, like, you're slightly better than I am. Because, like, I'm looking at everyone's story. It's like, I feel like I'm going to miss out. Like, it's the FOMO. Like, I'm going to miss out on something that happened. So I'm, like, constantly taking in everyone else's content as well. Just to feel like this need, like I have to be connected. And I know it's worse with like COVID because I can't go out and I really talk to people. I'm not like a huge like texter or anything. So I feel like it's Instagram and Facebook and all these things is how like my family members, I don't even think I have like a lot of their phone numbers. That's freaking sad. Like I have their Facebook. That's how I communicate. Like if I want to know how my like my aunts and my cousins are doing, I go to Facebook. And that shouldn't be how our society is living. But I know a lot of people that are like, oh, I keep Facebook just to know how my family's doing.
Yeah, I mean, the only reason why I'm a little bit better at it than you are is because I caught it earlier on. Like, I realized maybe a year ago or so that I was heavily addicted to social media and that it was hurting me. Like, that it was not good for me. And so what I try and do is I try and just, because not that I have to go on social media every day, I don't, but I feel like I have to because now it's part of this like brand that I'm building and I want to make sure that everything is running smoothly. And so because it's like part of my business, I have to like post and do all these things, right? But what I do is I post and then I close it. And I, like, don't look at it again. So I try and, like, post at one point in the day and then not look at it again until later at night. Because I know that as soon as I look at it, like, that's when I fall prey to it again.
Well, now that, like, social media is, like, my main job, I feel like I'm more addicted to the analytics side. So I'm constantly like seeing like what's doing better or like if people are engaging because I feel like if that fails, then there went my job as a content creator and an artist, because I need this platform to sell my art. I need this platform to sell my affiliate code.
Yeah.
Like, I need this platform to make sure brands reach out to me and hire me for gigs, because without the platform and without the engagement of my followers, that's my job gone. So it's like my livelihood. So now it almost like, I feel like I get super obsessive because I need to make sure that I'm going to be able to survive.
Yeah, and I definitely get that. Like, ever since I started YouTube, I have 100% been addicted to the analytics on YouTube. One, because they're so in-depth and fun. And two, because I'm a super, like, nerd/numbers person. And so I really enjoy watching, like, the different numbers and, like, where people were interested in, what I can do better in my video editing or in my ideas, like what videos are doing well, what aren't doing well. And, like, it's so easy to fall into that, especially because I'm over here being like, our school's gonna have funding? Like, am I gonna have a job? Like, is YouTube gonna be my full job? But yeah, I mean, I think... So, like, a week or two ago, my Instagram was hacked, and I lost 37,000 followers in 5 minutes, and I had, like, a little come to Jesus moment where I was like, yikes, Rebel.
Did
like,
you say come to Jesus moment? I've never heard that one.
I was trying to, in the moment, I was trying to think of a better phrase, because I don't particularly enjoy that phrase, but I couldn't think of
I was
one.
like, I have never heard you say that in the 2.5 years of dating you.
I used to say it a lot.
Come to Jesus moment.
Yeah, it's like, it's...
I'm sorry, continue.
Okay. Anyways, but you know what I was talking about, right? Yeah. So, like, I had this moment where I just realized that, you know, I was placing so much worth in my social media. You know, I realized that, one, I'd centered my entire brand around this audience that I have on Instagram, which is a problem. Like, I need to center my brand around my brand. And so I started, like, building my website and stuff like that. But two, that I just felt like, oh, people aren't going to like me or want to skate with me anymore because I don't have Instagram followers. And that's hella problematic.
Yeah.
The fact that I thought that, you know, I genuinely thought, oh, no one's going to care about me anymore. They're just going to be like, whatever, you know, Rebel who
which
used
totally
to be.
Isn't true.
Which is not true at all. But the fact that I was feeling those feelings and feeling them so in such a deep way made me think, oh, you need to get a check on this.
Yeah. But I think that's why breaks are important. I've only taken an Instagram break
a weekend
twice. Once I think it was like a day, and that was rough. And then I kind of had like an emotional breakdown where I was just like, I'm over the toxicity of the skate community and everything for a while. It was just a little too much on social media, so I took Friday, Saturday, Sunday off. And at first it was like really hard not to check. Like, I felt like a drug addict. Like, I felt like there's this like I'm a drug addict and I have drugs in my hand constantly, but I can't do them. So I started doing this like random things, like, guess I'm going on Snapchat, like, which I like, no. I was like, what do I do? Like, then I was just like, okay, I guess I'm on Facebook. And then I was like, why are you trying to look for a substitute, you know?
Yeah.
By the third day, like, it felt so much better and I felt so refreshed. And of course, a week later, I was sucked right back into being in it so much again, but with a more of a mindset not to engage with everything I saw. So now I notice I'm more of an observer than an engager on social media. When I see something that I feel like is toxic, I don't feel like I gotta be Captain Save-A-Ho and jump into the drama. I just go... Seriously, I just go, let that drama...
You really are Captain Save-A-Ho.
Sometimes I gotta realize, like, pick your battles.
You should have a cereal named after you. Captain Save-A-Ho.
Seriously, I feel like Captain Save-A-Ho. Sometimes I jump in and I do see things that are wrong in the skate community, but it's like minor things and I'm just like, not my business. I'm like, I don't even care. It's not even worth it. If I see something major and something that needs to be fixed and changed, yes, I will jump in it. But now if any like random person is gonna like say something stupid,
Yeah, you have
I'm not gonna jump in it.
I feel like you get your feelings hurt a lot more than I do. Like, people say to me all the time, and I'm just like, okay, delete. Like, I don't care.
I think it's because, like, a lot of the people that I do follow on Instagram, I've been following them for like 3 years and had so many conversations, have seen them like grow, like as a skater, and like just things they do, like we support one another. So I think like when those ones do something problematic, it feels like a friend that's been.
Oh, yeah.
Like, because I don't really have that many like face-to-face friends, so I think that's like another reason why I get sucked into social media, because like that's like, I'll be like, those are just like my Instagram friends, like those are my friends in a way, which I know can be naive.
Okay, that's literally, I did that for a long time, and then you were the one to burst that bubble for me. Like, I literally was like, these are all my friends, and she was like, no, they're not your friends, they like, you kind of know them. And I was like, well, thanks. And that bubble got burst so hard that I've had a hard time like building that back up and like trusting people, because I thought that people were my friends, and then they were not. They were definitely not my friends.
Definitely not all of them. I'm not saying like all thousands and thousands and thousands, but
I didn't think it was thousands of people that were my friends, for the record.
But I don't know. So definitely just gotta take a break every once in a while. Like, you just gotta do it. Like, whether it's a time, I'm not saying you gotta take a whole weekend off, you gotta take a whole day off, but I think it is a good idea to like allot times. I know I won't do it. You should, but I won't. I'm not gonna listen to my own advice.
Destigmatize people taking breaks. So like, when someone's taking a break from Instagram or from whatever social platform, don't hate on them. Like, we have this huge, I don't know, I feel like we're addicted to them putting their lives up there just as much as they're addicted to putting their lives up, you know? Like, how mad did all of us get when Jenna Marbles quit YouTube?
Yeah.
So mad, because we feel like she has a responsibility to us.
Do you think influencers are part of the problem?
I think that influencers are a cog in the machine. I feel like we are, you know, we're just the same way that, like, car dealerships are trash, right? Like, we can all agree. And, like, car salesmen, they do things where you're, like, shady. But also, they're just doing their job.
Yeah.
They're just trying to get money and food for
Because we
their
are
families.
also being used and...
Yeah, like, I would say that an influencer is essentially employed by whoever the organization is that's trying to sell their product. And we are
is this that
also
cycle of profit you were talking about?
Yes, this is the cycle of profit I was talking about. We are hired by an organization to sell their stuff, and we choose what organization to agree to sell their stuff or not. And we all do it on this platform or this plane that is social media. Yeah. And social media doesn't really have our back because we're not really doing anything for them. Yeah. They have the advertisers' back, but advertisers kind of have our back. Like, it's weird.
Definitely. And I just mean, like, come on. If you're listening, watching, whatever you're doing right now, hearing my voice... You grew up with this. We know about this. I bet our audience is like elder millennials and below. You grew up with like MySpace. And that was your first addiction, I bet.
Facebook when it was only for college students.
Yeah. And I know you were probably just as addicted. Stick'em, when that was a thing, a lot of people were
Tumblr.
Tumblr.
Like, that counts.
Don't get me started. Former MySpace scene queen talking to you, and former Tumblr girl talking to you. Addiction with internet and social media platforms, like my whole time. Even vampire freaks. So many weird things.
You are to social media platforms like Michelle Visage is to different, like, fashion eras.
Exactly. I just grow with every scene online, and that's just in my life. So maybe this addiction has been around since like 16, 17. I don't know. But MySpace died, and then people ran to Facebook, and then something else will die, and people will run somewhere else.
It's a cycle. be emotionally invested in the people that are on the platform with you.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be emotionally invested in the platform itself, because the platform will fail you. The people are people,
Mm-hmm.
and can have the capacity to move beyond that platform.
Yes, beautifully said. I don't know. I feel like I've said everything I have to say. It's something I could talk about for hours, and I think it's like, this is honestly one of those things you just get high with a circle of friends and you just get lost down the rabbit hole.
We definitely watched this video, and then I sat there in our living room going, huh, fascinating.
Oh my gosh. I think it's time we go into the wheel world.
Yeah, it's time to transition into the wheel world. What are we talking about in the wheel world today?
Roller skating is a sport.
Wait, what?
Yes.
I thought only roller derby was a sport.
No. Roller skating, period. With a hard T.
With a hard T.
Is a sport, people.
So are you trying to say that if you roller skate, you might get injured?
Yes, I right now have a boo-boo on my elbow. I have some road rash.
I also have a boo-boo on my ankle, but that's because I was trying to make a TikTok and I threw my skate and kicked it. So I don't know if it counts.
I mean, kind of. Because you're bringing up TikTok, which is part of the thing that brought a lot of people thinking that roller skating is easy, and you just strap them to your feet, and you get to do a strut walk, and everything's going to be easy peasy.
And that is just not the case.
It's not.
I have talked to so many people who genuinely think, like, they've been skating for a month, and they're shook that they are not, like, the best roller skater ever.
It takes months, sometimes a year for people
to feel comfortable on skates.
Yes.
Much less do fancy dance moves or ride on ramps or any of that stuff.
I know. I've met so many people that are like, I just got skates. I can't even stop yet. Let me go to the skate park. And I'm like,
no.
And then people will be like, you're a gatekeeper because you're telling people what they can't do. I'm not saying what they can't do. I'm just going to look at you crooked and be like, don't cry when you break something.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that, like, people, I don't know, I just feel like people are getting hard mad that they're breaking things.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know if we're not telling you or if you're not listening, but here it is.
I think it's because, like, how we were talking about earlier about, like, in the beginning of influencers, and like still today some influencers that make everything look super pretty with a perfectly tied bow. So that's how some skaters, like, people come and they see these skaters that like everything looks flowy and beautiful and do all these crazy like backflips and stuff, and people forget that it took these skaters years to master this or get the courage to even try, and trust, they got a lot of injuries and got hurt on the way to learning that. There are so many people buying skates right now that are not buying gear.
I'm so shook by that. Like, that is not smart.
And it's at least, like, you're gonna fall. Like, at least knee pads, if nothing else, knee pads and wrist guards, something. And I'm not saying you always have to wear them. You don't want to, you're probably adult. That's fine.
Yeah, we're not here yelling at you to wear gear, but
I just want you to not act surprised when you get hurt.
I think people are shook and like surprised that you get hurt when you put 8 wheels under your feet.
Like the trash fire that is Facebook skate groups, because sometimes they just get so toxic. I call them a trash fire. I'm sorry. I feel like they used to be helpful, but it's just too chaotic.
I literally deleted my Facebook.
Yeah, that's like a whole nother talk. We'll talk about
like an extension of my
dumpster fire
thing. That's it.
Facebook skate groups, but there will be a lot of people posting injuries and being like, why is everyone getting hurt on skates? Is something wrong? Are the skates not functioning right?
People message me that too. And I'm like, it's not the skates. It's everyone being new and not having anyone teaching them.
My gosh. And that's because it's specifically, like, not only do we have a lot, you're going to have more people skating, you have more people getting hurt. So, of course, it's going to seem like all of a sudden there's an influx. It's like, yeah, because there's an influx of skaters, people. And the thing is, we're in a pandemic, so you don't have, like, these meetups, really. I mean, some people are having meetups, but...
That's another story.
Yeah. Anyways, it's a pandemic, people. So you can't just go to these rollouts and these meetups and have people teach you all these things. Or there's not as many people that are willing to give skate lessons because they're worried about social distancing right now. So... you're not learning it. So you have people out there strapping wheels, slippery wheels to their feet and not really wearing gear, or even sometimes they have full gear, even elbow pads, like everything. And then they fall wrong because they don't know the proper way to fall yet. And then like, you can watch as many YouTube videos as you want, but I'm sorry, it's not
the same.
It's not the same as like being there face to face and learning and
or having someone be like, this is what you're doing wrong.
Yeah. And the greatest fall. The greatest skaters in the world. I have seen them eat.
Yeah, so what I'd like to say is just that skating is a hardcore sport. Like, it's not just like a sport like like racquetball. I don't know anything about racquetball, but like, it's not like wiffle ball up in this bitch. Like, roller skating comes with injuries. Like, they go hand in hand. Roller skating and falling are mutually exclusive.
Yep.
Meaning, you get one, you get the other. Like, you cannot roller skate without falling and progress.
My dad, he skateboarded back in like 70s and 80s. And when he first saw me get my roller skates, he told me, just remember, it's not a matter of if you'll fall, it's when you'll fall. And it's so true.
So true.
And like, some people are probably like, well, I just want to dance skate.
You're gonna fall.
Sorry, like, when I worked at Coffee Bean, I took all my coworkers, we won a contest and had a gift card, so I took them all to Fountain Valley to go skating, and one of the girls who knows how to skate was just skating in a circle, minding her business, and this guy wasn't paying attention and skating super fast, looking at his phone, hit her, she fell, and she broke her elbow, or broke her arm, and, yeah, so it can happen, because...
all the time.
You could just one fall wrong, and it's like it doesn't matter what kind of skating you're doing.
I was literally skating in my house, recording a video, doing like the world's most basic skate move, meaning like just skating in a straight line, and I fell, hit my head on a box, and got a freaking concussion.
It was bad. The wig was full of blood.
It was so bad.
There, you can see it on a YouTube video. We'll put the link in the show notes.
It's wild.
But yeah, I think like it's just, I wanted to talk about this because I think people are forgetting or just don't know that like
the aggressive nature of skating.
And like, I've had people yell at me before, like, oh, like I post my falls all the time because like,
too, yeah.
Hashtag post
One, they're hilarious.
They're so funny. If I fall and it wasn't caught on camera, I'm
mad.
Pissed.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's not even worth it.
Why did I just fall if I wasn't recording it?
Seriously, because like it's honest. It's just funny. I think it's like great, especially if you weren't seriously hurt. I know a skater recently posted their fall and them being in the hospital, and I believe
they ruptured their spleen or something like that.
Liver,
or their liver.
They might need extreme surgery on their liver, and they had full gear on, but when they came, something happened, and then there was another part of the ramp was kind of like up, and then their gut, like groin area, like slammed into that. I think it sliced open.
The gap, which by the way are terrifying.
Yeah,
just in general.
So it doesn't matter. You can have full gear on. Things will happen. Things just happen. Knock on wood. But people break bones. People just scrape up and bleed. I got staph. I got a staph infection so bad that if they said if I hadn't gone in, like that could have been it. That would have gone to my blood. I could have lost my leg. Like, things seriously happen. Like, I had a bad fall where my knee clicked and then I couldn't walk. It was all swollen. Had to get x-rays. I've had some bad falls.
I fell really hard on my tailbone and like chipped the edge of my tailbone, which was multiple years ago. And to this day, I still can't sit down on a chair for a long period of time. And there's that's never gonna be fixed.
Yeah, lots of tailbone injuries. I had one of those too, because when I fell at the Pride Parade. But
oh yeah.
oh man, that sucked. But anyways,
so long story short, skating is dangerous. Be careful, but more than being careful, because you're automatically going to be careful, be aware that skating and falling and like getting injured, that is part of skate culture. Like, and
it's not for the weak at heart.
Yeah, it's definitely not. And people who get mad at other people for like not wearing gear, not wearing helmets, the reason why they're doing that is because they know about the aggressive nature of skating. But then also at the same time, we shouldn't tell people or police people to wear pads or to not wear pads, because it's really up to each and every person. But it is our job to inform people the risk that they're putting themselves in.
Exactly. I feel weird when people comment that on me. Like, I wouldn't comment that on someone.
I feel weird too.
You should have had a helmet on. Like,
it's like, shoulda, coulda, woulda. Okay.
It's like, okay, but they didn't. What does that change?
And it's my body. Why are you mad at me?
Do you really care about this person?
Yeah, it's so random. Like, I don't get it.
Yeah, so I feel like just live and let live, but educate people that are new so that they can make the choice.
Yeah.
If they want to wear the gear.
People should just be able to make an informed decision.
Like, oh, I'm a new skater, blah, blah, blah. Like, oh, cool. Like, do you have any gear? No. Okay, well, when I was new, I fell a lot on my hands and knees, so maybe get knee pads and wrist guards. Like, no, I don't really want to do that. Okay, cool. End of conversation.
End of conversation. You're responsible for you and your life. That is it.
Yeah.
There are times that I choose not to wear gear, and that's my choice. And if I get hurt while I'm not wearing gear, that was my choice, and that is my fault. Period.
But yeah, anyways, I guess moral of that story is safety is sexy.
Safety is sexy. That's it.
That's it.
All right, moving on from the real world to Two Girls, One Pup. It's your time to shine. Two Girls, One Pup. Bobo. All right, Bowie is here. We're ready for Two Girls, One Pup.
All right, so I feel like we just want to talk a little bit about, I don't know about y'all, but have your animals, specifically dogs, gotten any more aggressive during this pandemic?
Yeah, because Bowie is like hella aggressive now.
Yeah, like we already told you last week that he bit me, and even though I think that was just like a mistake, he has like nipped or like kind of like to try to scare off people in our COVID circle that come over. Like,
yeah, he barks at everyone who goes past the door, and that never used to be a thing he would do.
Like full blown, like I'm gonna rip your throat out. Like,
he would never do that, so don't be scared of him.
Sleeping right now, boo boo. And yeah, so it's like crazy because he's such like a sweetheart, and he's literally half asleep all the time, like right now. But I think it's like the whole pack mentality thing. Like, we're home all day, every day, pretty much. And he's always around us. Like, literally, if we go outside, like, he freaks out. Like, he has to know where we are.
Yeah, like, I'll skate to the mailbox and he'll lose his mind.
Yeah. So I think he just feels extra protective. I don't know about y'all's animals at home, but for sure Bowie got like that. But in the past week, I feel like the same people kept coming, like, over to drop things out. Like off or
yeah, or they're filtering in and out of our house.
Yeah, and it was just like quick little visits here in and out, and to the point where like by the last end of the week, Bowie just stayed in his bed. Like, he greeted them and didn't even care.
Yeah.
And usually he has to be like all over that person, and like if they make a fast move, he'll like run towards them like what are you doing? Like, has trust issues. And I think it's really crazy. Like, I think it really helped like the socialization.
Yeah, we needed to socialize him more. And it's hard to do when you're quarantining, you know? You're trying to make sure everyone's safe. And you're like, how do I, take my dog around other dogs? Especially, like, for us, Bowie doesn't like other dogs. So we can't just take him to the dog park.
Yeah. True.
But yeah, so I don't know if you're having this issue with your animals. But I think that I'm concerned about when, like, for example, I go back to work and I'm gone all day long, and then you're also gone for some of the day.
Yeah, plus he gets really sad when you're gone. Like, you left earlier and he literally was just at the back door crying forever. And then when I let him outside, he just was roaming the backyard looking for you.
He's for sure a mama's boy.
Yeah, he's a mama's boy for sure. I'm like nothing to him.
That's because he's my emotional support dog.
Yeah.
He takes the brunt of the love that I want to give to Shove, but Shove doesn't want.
Like, I'm sitting here today, because Bowie's here. Like, I would be smothered to death by the love of Rebel.
I have a lot of love to give. I'm a Pisces queen. I rain down the love.
Yeah, so thanks, Bobo. Take one for the team.
Yeah.
But yeah, so just make sure, like, if you're...
often says, better you than me, Bobo.
I do say that. I just want to say, like, if you are having this issue with your dog, I don't know if you do have, like, a COVID circle. Honestly, I'm not sure if that's something, like, that's a real thing, right?
That's a real thing.
Yeah.
I've heard lots of people talking about it, yeah.
So, if you have a COVID circle and you're noticing your dog has been a little aggressive lately or a little too needy, maybe have them come over a little more just to get your dog some more...
A little bit of a differentiation in people.
Yeah, get him, like, it'll be normal for him again. Because, like, what happens when the world opens back up?
And it's just like... We go back to our
world. Pets are going to freak out.
Our pets are going to freak out. That being
Separation
said,
anxiety.
Thought to self, invest in pet hotels? I bet you.
Ooh.
I bet you their stock is going to go up. I had only known in January to invest in Zoom stock. Your girl would be rich right now.
Oh my gosh. But imagine. Yeah, so... That's what's going on with Bowie. We're realizing he's not as aggressive with having more people around.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks.
It was just his side effect.
Thanks, Bowie, for visiting.
Thanks for visiting, Bobo.
You can go back to sleep under the table
Thanks
again.
for being part of Two Girls, One Pup.
Now it's time for my favorite segment.
It's Dear Shovel. You send us your questions and letters, and we give horrible responses. This question is from S. Hello, how the heck am I supposed to come out to my parents? Great question. I'm a 14-year-old gay girl, and I've known that since I was 12. And as I enter high school, I'm realizing that I might end up with a girlfriend. Get it? And it seems that I might need to tell my parents that I am not, in fact, straight. Dun dun dun. Here's the problem. I am terrified. I thought I might come out in April, but in the weeks leading up to the date that I had set, I was having panic attacks almost daily and couldn't sleep because I kept having those horrific nightmares. Do I ever come out to my family? If you feel comfortable sharing, what were your experiences coming out to your parents, if you did? Thanks so much. Love the podcast. S. She, they pronouns.
Nice. Well, I didn't really come out, so I'm I'm out, but I didn't have a normal come out to your parents.
She didn't have a closet. I don't know how this happened, and I hope that if we ever have a daughter that she doesn't own a closet. Not like that. Like, I hope she has a... Whatever. Anyways, like, I hope that the next generation, like, closets, like, that does not exist. That'd be so nice.
I was very privileged to be raised with lesbians all around me and my straight parents, and I just thought that everyone was gay. I didn't know there was, like, something called straight and queer, like, until I got older, and I was like, wait, what? So it's quotation weird that I'm attractive to both. Like, okay. So for me, I never felt like the need to come out. I just felt like my whole life I've been this way.
You've just been a bi-chai forever?
I've been a spicy bi-chai forever.
A spicy bi-chai.
Oh, Hot Java, I miss you.
We miss you. Okay, so I feel like I am specifically qualified to answer this question because I came out to my parents actually when I first started dating Shove, so about 2.5 years ago. And I grew up in, like, a very religious household, and being gay was, like, equivalent of, hey, you're going to hell now. And so from the moment that I really fully realized that I was gay to the moment that I actually came out to my parents was a really, really big journey. And it took me years to the point where I was even willing to consider the idea of coming out to my parents. So I would say that first off, to say that one, you know that you're gay at 12 and you're 14 now, like that's so awesome.
Yeah,
like,
it is.
I am so proud of you for knowing that much about yourself and like being self-aware and all of those things. The fact that you're at the point where you're even considering coming out to your parents is really awesome. I think that that's just a significant movement from realizing you're gay to even starting that process. So I applaud that in you as well. That being said, my main strategy when I came out to my parents was to not really provide them with the opportunity to say anything besides yes or no. So what I did was I said this exact phrasing, "So you know I'm gay, right?" Which allows them to say yes or no. And if they say yes, then it's like, they're like, yeah, I knew. But if they say no, then I'm like, okay, then let me explain a little bit more to you. But if they say yes, kind of, it shuts down the conversation a little bit. And for me, because I knew it was going to be a volatile situation, I wanted to shut down the conversation. Like I wanted to provide the information and then move on because I knew they were going to need time once I gave them that information to process it. And so the biggest piece of advice I can give to you is to understand that they are people who have certain opinions and you need to understand where they're coming from. Like, allow them the ability to be human and to process through the emotions that come with your expectations being jarred and shifted. A lot of times, because society is founded on this like heteronormative idea, we're used to like, oh, man and woman get married, have children, you know? And
the nuclear family.
Yeah, the nuclear family. And I think that so many people just automatically expect that and they don't think to prepare themselves to expect anything differently. And so when you provide them with the information that that is not what they're going to get from you as their child, then that disrupts all the dreams and plans that they had for you, which can be hard for them to process. And so for me, it was coming to that realization that like I needed to accept that in the same way that it took me a long time to accept the fact that I'm gay and that like this is who I am, and to come into that, it's also going to take them a little bit of time to adjust beyond their belief system and expectations.
Yeah, definitely. And like, I think it's important to remember that if you lose your blood family, there's always going to be your queer family. Maybe you haven't found them yet, but sometimes you do. You grow up and you get to choose your family. So I'm not saying it's not going to hurt any less, but there's always going to be a family there for you.
Boey's being extra loud,
He
right?
is extra loud and needy.
I will definitely say that you don't know how your parents are going to respond. And sometimes, even if they are like hyper conservative, for instance, or very religious, sometimes they react in a way that you will not expect. And so, as difficult as it is, do your best to not place expectations of how they're going to react and just kind of prepare yourself for anything. You know, like you don't know if they're going to be like, great, I'm so happy for you. Or if they're going to just be silent, or if they're going to yell. Like, you don't know what's going to happen. And worrying about that ahead of time is like paying the toll before you're asked to pay the toll. So you end up paying the toll twice. So this is something that I learned, actually, like my mentor when I was in grad school told me this, and it has stuck with me ever since. And that is that not to pay the toll twice. So imagine that you're on a freeway and there's like toll roads, and you don't know if when you're on the freeway and you're going to your destination if you're going to have to pay a toll road. So if you just got on the freeway and like threw some money out the window as if you were paying the toll, you may eventually get to a toll road and that money might go to that, or you may have just thrown money off the side for no reason. Like, either way, you're going to have to pay twice. And so, like, don't spend that emotional labor ahead of time before anything has happened.
Yeah.
My advice for you.
Yeah. So, whenever you're ready and you're comfortable, email us again. We'd love to hear how your parents reacted.
Yeah, we want to know. Please update us. Keep us updated on the situation.
Yeah, and we wish you the best of luck.
Another thing that you could do is you could just, like, buy them their favorite candy and then write them a note. Like, you could write the whole thing out. I'm trying to give her bad advice. We promised bad advice, and I felt like we just gave good advice.
That's cheesy advice.
Babe, we promised bad advice. We gave her good advice, so...
What if... Okay, go ahead and say it, and then I'll give my bad advice.
Okay, what if you dressed up like a rainbow flag, and then you came home from school one day, and your mom's like, S, what are you doing? And you're like, I'm gay!
Oh my god, I can't believe I'm in love with you. Okay, so... What? Okay. So I was gonna say, how about you buy, like, a beautiful orchid flower, also known as the vagina flower, and then you give it to your parents, and you say, you like that? And they'll be like, what? And you're like, yeah, me too. And then you just walk away so that they just gotta think about it.
That's kind of like when I was coming out to my parents, I wore a shirt that said girls on it because I thought that somehow they would get the message. I have another bad idea for you. Okay, what if you sent your parents on a scavenger hunt, and the scavenger hunt is like all around the city, right? So you get your parents in on the scavenger hunt, and at the end of it, they're like, what was the point of this, S? And you're like, honestly, there wasn't really much of a point, but I am gay.
Alright, so that's pretty much our bad advice for you. But seriously, best luck.
Yeah, seriously though, best of luck. Whatever happens, what's the most important thing is it's not necessarily about you coming out to your parents. It's about letting your parents in on who you truly are.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for watching / listening to this episode of Skate Date. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to keep listening to us, we're on all of the streaming platforms now.
Yeah.
Even Amazon's new streaming platform.
I forgot. We're everywhere.
Yeah, I know, we're everywhere. So anywhere you get your podcasts, you can subscribe to us.
Yeah, because, even an earthquake couldn't stop us.
I know, we had an earthquake in this episode. That was wild. If you really like us, you really, really like us, you could leave a review on our podcast on Apple Podcasts, and we would love it forever.
5 stars. All right, y'all. See you on our next date.
Next skate date, next Wednesday.
Woo!
Woo, woo, woo. Bye.